Hey, welcome back to the Calculated Concepts YouTube channel, um, where we talk about how to make your business easier through simple tech systems. Been doing a string of YouTube videos about Squarespace lately, but today I'm going to talk all about Asana. So, we're going to talk about how to use a templated project as the basis for streamlining your client work. I'm going to show you the exact board that I use or project that I use for my own website clients and kind of how that works. So let's walk through it. First off, I've created a board and I've put it in Asana. You can use an overview. You can see it as a list. You can see it as a board. And then if you're on, you can see the calendar, and then you can see it as some of these other things if you're on one of the higher paid plans. I'm going to use a board, and you can see about it listed as instructions, files and resources, and website tasks. So under instructions, it tells my clients how to use things. So copy and rename, blah, 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 to create one of their own new tasks within the card. It also gives them just general instructions for the template. But the main thing that's in this instructions part that's really important is their tasks for onboarding. So in here, they have various tasks that they need to do, such as signing their contract, paying their invoices, getting familiar with Asana, booking calls. And so in here, you can see the ones that have extra information in them, they have these little bubbles next to them. And so you can see here, I have links to my Dipsada portal for them, um, where they can find various things that they need to do. Their questionnaires, their pay invoices, tutorials, links to book with me, and all those kinds of things that they need are in here. Now, a lot of this content is also delivered via my Dubsado onboarding workflow. Um, but it's good to give people things in a couple different ways because people's brains work differently and they learn differently. I also have a card dedicated for the client for them to upload headshots or other images they'd like in the site, them to upload their logos, preferred fonts and colors, and any terms. In here, you can see I've provided loads of resources for them to get terms and conditions for their business, privacy policies, those kinds of things. A lot of my clients are in the UK, so I've linked them directly to the ICO. I am not a lawyer, so I reference them to people who know what they're talking about these things. I have an LA needs card or task here. This is where I keep track of the things that I still need from them. So if I need passwords for something via LastPass, or if I need if it's something that's outstanding in any way, shape, or form, maybe more information about their team members for the website, I list that here so that I don't forget and that they don't forget, and that I assign this to the client. All right. I also have tasks for when they fill out their website questionnaire in Dipsado, I put the link to it here, and I set myself a task for what I need to review for when that website project kicks off. I have tasks for completing the draft build, and here I'll usually link um, reference websites and things like that for that I might be using as inspiration, notes that the client gives me about what they want to do, making adjustments. So that happens after that's essentially revisions. Um, and then delivering the final website. The most important thing on this entire board, all of this is really good. The most important thing is this one, my website checklist. I can see it's really long and it's got tasks for me and my assistant Heidi, and adding it to our portfolio, indexing the site, like all these little things that some of them can get overlooked, like maybe adding the analytics or adding a social sharing image, these tiny things that can get overlooked but can make or break the client experience over time. I have a list for everything that we need to do. And so when it comes time that I use this, I would go ahead and select all the ones, and I'm doing this with Shift Select, just like you would everything else that need to be assigned to Heidi, and I can assign her a due date. I don't usually assign the ones that I do to myself, except for the ones that maybe I need to have add a date to. So like I usually add a date to mobile testing. So like that is a day at the end of the design that I go through and I make sure that everything is really good on mobile and functions on mobile as it does on desktop and looks really nice. So those types of things. So that's what I do. And to use this, what I do is I go ahead and duplicate the project. So we're just going to do that now. I tell it to keep the project description. I tell it to keep the assignee. And then I change it to the name of the client here. So I would say, let's put in mine. McBride, and I would say I have website, and then I usually put in the date or something on the website too for the project. Then I'll create the new project and see down here, it's already starting it. And then I can go ahead and function from here. So I can assign this to uh, anybody relevant. I'll assign this to myself and can assign any dates. So if a client has not done some of these tasks, you can see if I refresh this, these are still populating. But if a client hasn't yet booked one of their calls, I can give them a little bit of a prompt. It sends them an email. So the lovely thing is not all of my clients are Asana people, but all of my clients have an email. So if I need to set them up to do a task, I can send them this and it will send them an email being like, you have a task due. And it will send them an email with pretty much all the details in the task. It's fantastic. So, and then you can see all these have kept their assignees. Um, And that's pretty much how it works. Like I just use this same board over and over and over again. And if things change in my process, I update it in the master. If there's something else that needs added to the website checklist, it gets added right here, but in the master document. Um, if a tutorial gets changed that I have, so some of these down here that are assigned to say Heidi, um, and I'm just going to show you, for example, have a tutorial linked in either through Descript or Live, depending on where it was at my business at the time. If there's resources that are needed, sometimes it'll link back to a card that is over here. For example, creating the brand kit page, maybe she'll need to look at the preferred fonts and colors and things like that. So using this board is really simple. You can see I've literally it's really basic, but I've added to it over the years of designing these websites. And it's just really nice to have a home base for the entire project, which means that I can outsource bits to my assistant. It means that if I'm ever unwell, I know exactly where I'm in the project, or something were to happen if am traveling while working. It really makes it easy to assign things to myself and be able to go back and see this is exactly what I need to do today. So it's really helpful for all of that. Um, all right, that's the basis of this. I know this is a real rough and ready overview. So if you have questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer and share my Asana obsession with you.